was probably the most super pick as far as what she's all about and what the award is all about. Not only is she a phenomenal, and always was a phenomenal educator, which is so very important, but I think it's also that she put so much of herself into not only her educating, but also her follow-up. She didn't just say, well, gee, I'm glad you graduated, congratulations, and that was the end. It was, you don't go anywhere at this university without seeing Joan Krause there.
Joan was always willing to share, and she was always willing to listen. She was non-judgmental. After class, you frequently saw students waiting for her, and she was always very generous of her time. Even today, she spends a lot of time counseling friends and family. She spends many hours on the phone. I should probably say many hours on the phone.
The year I entered the novitiate, Joan entered the college. We weren't allowed to talk to the students. What Joan did, she knew that we weren't allowed to talk, or we weren't allowed to communicate, but what she would do would be put bags of candy in the bushes for me. And even though we didn't talk, we were good. But she put, and I would come down the steps, the back steps, get the bags of candy, and all the other novices were all waiting for the candy from Joan. It was just a great, I thought that was really great. If you knew Joan Krause, you would think she wouldn't break a rule, but she is just wonderful, She's kind and caring, and she wanted to make sure that I was okay as her friend.
One of the things that she has said that I have always kept with me is that she would say, I didn't plan for things, Monica. I didn't have plans of what I wanted to do or where I was going to be in 10 years. I just did what needed to be done next.
She did more for me than anyone in my educational life. And I mean that in entirety. She was understanding. She always put me ahead of everything else. When I had to make up some coursework in order to graduate officially, because I lost the last semester of my senior year, she took care of me like she was a guiding light.
Joan's relationship with Misericordia is home to her. She talks of the university as if, and I've known this through many years of being with her, it's almost like a family member. It was a living, breathing being for her. She's always been interested and known about everything in relationship to the university.
If she hears of someone in need, Joan is there, with a listening ear. Not only with a listening ear, but bags of groceries and anything else that someone would need. That's Joan, She just, that's the way she is. She's just the one beautiful, beautiful lady. I think Joan is like my sister in mercy. She really is.
What she shares of her treasure with the university is never something that she would share with me. I think she would consider that boasting. And while I have knowledge of her generosity to the university through these many years that I've known her, it has never been through Joan that I have learned that. That's just not who she is. Advancing the mission and the core values of the university is in turn advancing the charism and the values of the Sisters of Mercy. And the Sisters of Mercy, Joan has had a lifelong relationship. Mercy, service, justice, hospitality, all of these values are core to the person of my Joan. And I can say that there's no one in my life who has lived the works of mercy, both spiritual and corporal, with as much fidelity as my Joan. She lives them still. She's a woman of scholarship and spirituality. She is a valiant woman. She is strong. She is brave. She is virtuous. Mulier fortis. That's my Joan.
Congratulations, Joan, on this wonderful award that you are such not only a gracious recipient, but a recipient who is so well deserved for receiving this, and thank you for being my friend.
I can't think of anybody more deserving of this award. Joan, you truly exemplify the charism of the Sisters of Mercy in your justice, in your mercy, in your hospitality, and also in your service. You truly deserve this award. Congratulations, and God bless.
Every day of your life, you live the Mercy mission, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm blessed to call you my dear friend and my sister in mercy.
My mother, my greatest advocate, congratulations. I can't think of anyone, of course, in my life, who would deserve such a high award and a high recognition of who you are. There are many people I know who would want to congratulate you, who have been touched by you and your mercy and your love. And I'm just so happy that you are being recognized for it. Congratulations, I love you, and I can't wait to celebrate.